Good evening, good people, and welcome to the Woman Evolve series. This is your girl, Christy Love. I missed you guys so much. I apologize for me being gone for almost a week or so, but I was battling, these colds that are going around and having a little sickness here and there. So I am back though in full swing and I'm ready to crank out these videos for you guys. I have a wonderful topic tonight, and I thought that it would be great for me to just start off tonight with this topic. And absolutely, I am so excited because our love lounge talk with Christy Love will be airing on this Saturday. So you guys do not want to miss that. The ladies are excited. I've been working on content for the show. So I am just really excited to see how things are going to go and evolve with this first Love Lounge Talk series. I think it's going to be very informative, very fun, and you guys just don't want to miss it. But anyway, I have episode 5 tonight, and I wanted to come to you guys because I think, this is another, my channel is all about positivity and empowering women, especially single women, and not just being single and moving towards hoping to find your mate, but also working on finding yourself and working on bettering yourself and being smarter and wiser when it comes to dating. This is I talk to you guys because to me, like I said, this was a form of therapy for me. But throughout my journey of me learning, I'm actually able to help other women learn how to be able to conquer this dating thing. We're all in this thing together. So we're all kind of maneuvering our way, trying to figure out this thing. And we're learning as we go what's the best and most effective way for us to get the results that we need when it comes to finding true love. So again, I'm coming to you tonight with episode 5, and my topic for tonight is 8 things that a secure and confident queen should never tolerate. So let's go ahead and jump right into these 8 things that I say women should never tolerate in the process of finding a man or meeting a mate or potential mate. So let's go ahead and get started with the 8 topics. Number 1. Ladies, never ever never drive the relationship, the momentum in a relationship. Never allow yourself to start taking the lead as far as initiating, dates and things of that nature. Let the man be a man. Let him chase you. Let him, initiate wanting to have that intimate time with you to spend, as far as going out on dates and getting to know you. I'm not saying, don't be, receptive to it, but definitely don't initiate it. Let him make the first move. Men like to be men. They like to pursue. That's their nature. That's a man's nature, is to hunt. Let him pursue you. Don't force and drive the momentum when it comes to getting, I don't care how fine he is, how much you like him, how much you're interested. Let him pursue you. Stop driving these relationships yourself and let the man do the man's job. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, never ignore a man's character. Once you start seeing a man's character, pay attention to those signs. Like, eventually everyone, when they first meet someone, we all, even I've done it. We all send out our representatives, in the beginning, because you want to be your best self. You want to put on a great impression. But over time, eventually, as you spend more time with someone, you start to, they start to reveal a little bit more about themselves. If you start getting signs like, early on or whatever, start paying attention to the signs, whether it's good or bad. You just notice how they move, how they operate. If they say they're a man of, say they're going to do something, they're a man of their word. Pay attention to those things. They're always breaking dates or whatever. Notice that. And I would say, if you start getting negative signs in the beginning, then that's probably a sign that you may not want to, go too deep with this relationship, or may even want to eventually cut it off if you don't have time to waste like that. But definitely notice a man's character. Just start paying attention. We have intuition for a reason. Like, some of us are more intuitive than others, but we all have that, instinctive intuition where we know when, okay, something's not right with this guy, or something's kind of off. And if you start seeing the signs, or something, is not quite right, or if you see signs that he's a great guy, just notice, pay attention, take mental notes, and just move accordingly based upon however, you're feeling. If you feel some kind of way, usually your intuition is not going to steer you wrong. So just go with that. Number 3, never trust a man's word without verifying. Okay. So that's one of the things that, I am, starting to really, 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 really like take heed of. You can't go by just what someone tells you. They, like, again, like I said, we all paint the picture, at the beginning. But, just because he pulls up in a nice car, a nice ride, and, he's presenting himself to be one way, does not necessarily mean you have to take his word for it. Get to know that person, and ask questions. Ask questions, observe that person, and just go by their actions. And eventually, questions will reveal character or motive. So if they have, any type of, like, ill, negative, ill will, or, motives or whatever that are negative, you'll be able to tell those just by asking questions. When you ask questions, you'll kind of see how they move and how they operate, whether they're comfortable, or if they, answer your questions with ease, and, want to continue to answer your questions and have no issues with it. Those things will kind of just reveal, what you're dealing with, or, what their character may be. But like I said, again, just don't go by what someone says or presents themselves to be, because, we live in Atlanta, and Atlanta is a lot of smoke and mirrors. A lot of people are presenting themselves to be one way. They have this business, let me tell y'all a quick, story about that. I met this guy, this is a few years ago, like probably 2015 or whatever. And I met this guy, and initially he wasn't necessarily my physical type, but he was well kept together, just really well groomed. He presented himself to be this wonderful, like, businessman, had this trucking company, and this business, and he was just like, everything that I wanted on my list, as far as, credentials, and the way he treated me with the ultimate, most respect. When we walked and we went out on a date, of course he did, like, like an old school gentleman. He would walk on the outside of the street or whatever as we walk, and he never would walk in front of me. He would always walk beside me. He would always, like, just be very attentive. And I really, really liked him. I started falling for him, and eventually, I thought we were in a relationship. And as time progressed, I realized that he was not who he said he was. I realized that, a lot of things that he had said was not what it was. He had said that he was he owned like a fleet of these trucking companies or whatever. And he had, several businesses or whatever, and come to find out, it was all a lie. Like, it was not true. I found out the businesses were not his businesses. And not to mention that, what the worst thing was that I found out that he was not only telling me that, but he was telling 3 or 4 other ladies the same story. And how I found out is, one of the ladies reached out to me on Facebook. And when she reached out to me on Facebook, and I'm sorry about that, y'all, my son walked in. But he reached out to me on Facebook, and so when she reached out, she just kind of asked me, were we dating? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, hey, I've been dating him too. We've been dating for like several months, and you're not the only one. I found out that there's 2 other ladies that he's been seeing and telling the same story too. He was like a con man. And he presented himself, and his stories were so on point. Like, I really, really, at that time I was young, and I wasn't, I was naive a little bit still. And, I just wasn't, I wasn't I didn't expect, him to be. I didn't expect that. I had never ran into, a situation where someone like presented themselves so perfectly. Like he had his story on lock, and I never would have expected it to be. But I come to find out that everything that he presented himself in the beginning, I just started finding it more and more and more. And eventually, once I found out all of that, I shut it down. It was a wrap, and we were done. But that's why I say, be careful, when someone, just brings, when you first meet, because they're gonna, present themselves a certain way. So, and I'm not saying everybody's gonna have that type of situation, but what I am saying is that, people will give you the version of themselves that they think you want to hear in the beginning, and it's up to you to get to know that person to see if, it's really authentic or not. So that's number 3. Number 4, take your time in relationships and learn to conquer your emotions. Like, don't jump so head over heels, in the relationship just because, you're attracted to that person, whatever. Try to control your emotions a little bit and take your time and just pace yourself. I know I'm guilty of that. I've fallen into that situation several times where, like I said, I say it all the time. I am a loving Cancer. And over the years, I've had to develop not falling so fast, or not, letting myself, get too wrapped up in a person so quickly, because every time I would do that, I would end up getting get hurt, or hurting myself and get hurt in the process. So I had to learn how to control my emotions and learn how to just genuinely get to know someone and not take it for more than what it is, and just pace myself and just, accept it for what it is at this moment. We're getting to know each other. Like, don't try not to in your head imagine, okay, oh my God, I'm so attracted to this person. I'm already imagining myself with the wedding dress on, standing in front of the altar. Like, slow it down. Like, if you feel like you just like so wrapped up, try to pull yourself back a little bit and pace yourself, because you really want to take time to get to know a person before you really start giving, that type of emotion and that much of yourself to someone, because you definitely don't want to get hurt in the process. So please, like, just try to do whatever you can, to try to like pull back a little bit and not get so wrapped up. Get to know the person and really understand who this person is that you're dealing with before you let your emotions take over. Number 5, do not, this is a good one, the really good one, ladies. And I thought about this one long and hard, but I wanted to put this one too, because I think this is one of my favorite ones. And this is, stop committing to just the potential in a man. And what I mean by that is, a lot of us, I've heard a lot of women, including myself, I've, said, oh, well, I met this guy and he's wonderful. He's not quite where he needs to be, but he has potential. And it's nothing wrong with that. Like, a man I do want a man, it's nice to have a man that's fully established or whatever, but if he's in the process of building and I see the potential in him, that's good and well. But what you don't want to do is just fall in love with just the potential of someone. They need to have a potential that matches up with, that corresponds with their actions. So you can't just, because if you just have potential without a corresponding action behind your potential, then ultimately you don't have anything. And you can't pay light bill, and you can't pay gas bill, and you can't do, buy a house or pay the house mortgage with just potential. So make sure, ladies, before you, when you get into a relationship, make sure the man has the actions and the ability to back up the potential that he has. A man with a plan, it's just like, if you have a plan but you don't execute it, then it's just a plan, or it's never going to be, brought to reality or manifested. So you definitely want to make sure that when you are with, excuse me, y'all, my dog is making noise in the background. He never makes noises when I'm, just in here by myself, but when I start on the tape, he wants to make noises, so I apologize. But like I was saying, make sure that their actions match up with the potential that you see in them, and it's not just the potential, but and it's never manifested. So before you get wrapped up in someone, just make sure that you're with someone that's actually backing up the vision and moving towards making the vision a reality and not just talking about it. So that's to me, I thought it was one of the favorite ones out of my whole 9 that I wanted to bring to you guys. And okay, so we're on number 6. Number 6 is a good one, and I think a lot of women need to hear this. It's never been an issue on my end per se, but I do know a lot of ladies and a lot of women out here that actually do this. And number 6 is stop financing these men. And stop financing these men. I mean, honestly, the only time that a woman should be financing a man under any circumstances is when that man is their husband or their king, and he's temporarily down for a short period of time. I mean, stop financing a man that hasn't proven himself to you. Like, I know women that let men move in with them, and they've actually gave them money, and they give have access to their bank accounts, and driving their cars and just doing all of these things as if this man is their husband, and these men don't even work. Stop financing men that are not proving themselves to you. If he's not your husband, or y'all are not potentially or about to get married, and unless, like I said, unless he is in that situation, and even then, if it's your husband or whatever, yes, you're supposed to stand by your husband or whatever, but that man needs to get up and do what he needs to do. Like, we're not, you don't tolerate a man just sitting on his behind and you having to take care of him. Like, we don't do that. Like, queens do not do that, and we will not tolerate that. Absolutely not. Like, that's just something that you should never ever tolerate as a queen and as a strong, secure woman. Number 7, never cater to a man that has not dedicated or proven himself to you. You're not required to submit to any man that you're not married to. Okay. I know I've heard women, in relationships, and they're like dating a guy, and they call him, ask permission. Is it okay for me to do this? Or is it okay for me to do that? Or can I wear this? And I'm sitting up here like, okay. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't respect your man, and don't respect value his opinion, especially if it's someone that you're in a serious relationship for, and you potentially see a future with. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, a lot of you women give these men, when you're just dating them, too much control. You don't allow a man to have that type of control over you and your decisions and your household, everything, when you're just dating him, and he hasn't proven himself to be moving towards anything more than y'all just dating. Like, stop giving these men that power, and learn that, unless he's your husband, he's not your husband. A lot of women, when they're dating, they start to treat the man as if they're their spouse or their husband, and they don't even have the title or the ring or the papers to be able to make those decisions or whatever. But you give them all the power. Like, stop giving them the power. I remember my spiritual advisor making in one of my sessions, she made the analogy of like, I was giving my keys over to someone, the keys to my house. Stop giving over the keys to your house so prematurely, especially if it's not your husband. Take your power back, because you allow someone to, drain you and take over you if you allow someone to have the power. So stop just don't allow these men to take the power, and stop catering to them. Like, y'all are walking around here, a lot of these women around here, allowing these men to dictate how they move and what they do, if they go to school or not, if they if they get whatever. And then you cooking and you cleaning, you're folding their clothes, and you're doing all these things like a wife would do. That's something that you don't give someone, and you laying up with them, like, whatever they call. Like, you have to learn how to give them these things in stages as they prove themselves, especially, you know, when you're dating someone. You can't just give them all the privileges of being a wife and you just now dating. You only been dating 6 months and here you are washing his clothes. You washing his clothes, folding his clothes, cooking for him every day. He's out here, living in your house. You done moved him in. I mean, come on, like, y'all, we've gotta be more mindful as women and as queens that you don't give all those things have to be earned. You don't give them that power away. They have to earn it. And wifey privileges are definitely something that you have to earn. You don't just come in and inherit that just because we're dating now or whatever. That's something that definitely has to be earned when you proving yourself to someone. Okay, so and number 8 is the final one, and this is not a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on number 8. And number 8 is just never ever allow a man to disrespect you, ladies. Like, just never allow a man to disrespect you. And when I say that, I mean, if you know he's out here, he's cheating on you, and he's constantly doing that, like y'all may have made through it, but he's constantly still cheating. He's constantly staying out all night. He's constantly talking to you reckless and calling you out your name, disrespecting your kids, or whatever the case may be. Women, queens don't allow that. We do not accept that. We do not tolerate it. And that's just something you should never ever tolerate as a queen. Never tolerate a man disrespecting you or treating you less than what you are. You are a queen, and you should know that. And because you are a queen, then you will never allow someone to come into your life and disrespect or treat you anything less than the queen that you are. Okay, so anyway, again, I'll run back through all the 8 things that I actually said. I'm not going to go into it, but let me go back through them again for those of you that may have came in tuned in late or may have missed. Never drive the momentum in a relationship. Let the man lead. Number 2, never ignore a man's proven character. When they show you who they are, believe them. Number 3, never trust without verifying. Don't go by words, just because of what they say or whatever, or what they present themselves to be. Take your time, get to know who they are, observe them, ask questions, do whatever you need to do, and the real person will eventually show themselves. Number 4, take time in a relationship take your time in a relationship, and learn to conquer your emotions. Like, don't get so wrapped up so fast. Take your time to get to know this person, find out who this person is, how this person moves, how they operate, before you actually start letting your emotions get too deep involved, because you don't want to get hurt. Number 5 was, do not commit to just potential in a man. He has to have not only potential, but he has to have the actions and to back that potential up. You can't just have a potential without a plan or without an action. So if he's just got potential, but he's not putting forth the action, then you should never accept that as a queen, as a woman that's secure and that knows the type of their worth. You never would allow a man to, just never had the potential but never move on, or trying to make this manifest in some type of way. Number 6 was stop financing men. That's self-explanatory. Women, stop financing these men, unless they're your husband and they're temporarily going through something and you have to step up and hold it down for a little while temporarily, and he, like I said, he's your husband or about to be your husband. Like, there's nothing else I can say about that. Just stop financing a man. Like, it's nothing, to me, nothing screams a sorry man or not being a man than a man that relies on a woman to take care of them. That's just, to me, it's like, that's just unacceptable in my book. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just, for me, I would never accept that in a man, just to be sitting down and not doing that. A man is supposed to get out here and do what he needs to do. I'm not saying, if your husband is going through something, you don't step up and you don't have his back. Yes, absolutely, 100%. But he's got to be out here making provisions and effort. And usually when a man, even when a man is down or whatever. A real man is going to be making provisions even when he's when he's going through something or down at that moment. He's always making provisions in order to make sure that his family is good. So if you got someone who's just sitting down and just relaxing and chilling, and you out here working and doing whatever you need to reevaluate the whole situation. I'm just saying. Number 7, never cater to a man that has not dedicated or proven himself to you. And again, don't stop catering to these men and giving them all these wifey privileges, when they're not proving themselves as, husband material or being your husband or whatever. Don't do that, because eventually, what you're going to do is you're going to have them keep taking, and you're probably never going to get the commitment, because you're giving all your wifey benefits away. I mean, and that's just real. And number 8, last but not least, again, this is the recap. Number 8 was never allow a man to disrespect you or treat you, less than what you deserve. Never, ever, ever. That's just 100% self-explanatory. Never allow a man to treat you or disrespect you in any type of way, whether, he's, being unfaithful, or he's, talking to you reckless, or he doesn't treat, respect your family or your children, your mother, your kids, whatever the case may be. Queens we do not tolerate that. So anyway, I hope this video was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, like I said, the plan is on this Saturday, we will be bringing you the much anticipated Love Lounge Talk series with me and my girls. So I know you guys have been waiting on that. I'm so excited. I've been getting together the content, trying to get everything together. And so I'm really excited about, bringing that video to you guys. And you guys really just being able to watch us in our real element as we discuss relationships, dating, being single, you name it, sex, whatever it is, we're going to be bringing it up in this particular series. So I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. So again, thank you guys for joining in and tuning in. Please share, comment, like, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed. And please make sure that you also hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload a new video. Each time, you'll get that notification. Again, this was a wonderful, wonderful series, and I enjoyed talking with you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I love you. And until next time, this is Christy Love signing out, and we will talk to you soon. Mwah.